We all know how much any sport is psychological. Today, I want to specifically talk about how to overcome performance anxiety in baseball, because there's an interesting thing about the sport of baseball that makes it unique. So, in the game of baseball specifically, we have something that's called game gaps. Okay. Now, game gaps are really prevalent in all sports, but more specifically, they're really prevalent in baseball. So, how to overcome this performance anxiety, right? So, what happens? A player comes to the field. They've been training all week. They've been training all off season. They've been putting in a lot of time working on their swing, working on their mechanics, working on the fundamentals of the game. And then all of a sudden, they have this obstacle. They have this roadblock, and it's on the psychological side. So, this anxiety comes up, this stress. What if I don't perform well? What if my teammates don't think as highly of me? What if I don't execute all of the things I've been practicing? What if my mom and dad think of me differently? What if my coach gets mad at me? What if I get benched? What if I don't get a scholarship to play at the next level? There's all of these what ifs that cause this anxiety as a player. Okay. But in baseball specifically, that makes it unique from all of these other sports is that there's a lot of downtime. There's a lot of lull time, right? So the actual action of a baseball game is only about 12 minutes long. And there's been studies done on this. And, you can just simply watch a baseball game. And from the time the ball is hit to the time it's caught and the play is called dead, it's 12, 15 minutes, somewhere around there. But a baseball game can last for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. So it's not necessarily about what's going on during those 12 or 15 minutes that's the separator. It's really about what's going on in the other 2 hours that separates how you're going to perform. And it's all based on your psychology. So here's a couple of notes. So if the game's only played 12 or 15 minutes live, then we have to understand that what we're doing in that downtime, and it's called a game gap. A game gap is a series of inaction. Okay. So baseball specifically, okay, you have a pitch and someone hits it, someone runs, someone catches it, someone throws it, and that's the end of the play, right? Now, the time that the pitcher grabs the ball and he's on the mound and the batter walks up to the plate and he's getting ready to step into the batter's box, that's all considered a game gap, a period of inaction. So a player should really be judging his performance on his period of inaction and not judging his performance on his series of action. Now, is it important to analyze your swing and what you did well, what you did incorrectly, what you can improve on with your swing, with your actual action in the game? Absolutely. But the majority of anxiety, the majority of errors, the majority of obstacles that come up because of the psychological side of things are actually in that game gap. So what's going on in your mind while you're sitting on the bench waiting for your next at bat? What's going on in your mind between every single play? What's going on inside your mind between the change of innings? What's going on inside your mind when the pitcher's warming up between innings? There's almost a limitless list of times that the action stops in baseball. So this is where the anxiety starts to creep up. This is where the obstacles start to creep up. It's not what you're doing when you're going to field the ground ball. It's not what you're doing when you're swinging the bat. It's not what you're doing when you're delivering a pitch as a pitcher. It's actually what you're doing in the times in between those things. That's the issue, or is actually the amplifier of you performing well. So baseball is a series of gaps, a series of inaction. So to overcome your performance anxiety in baseball specifically, start evaluating your performance, not in terms of what you did during the action, but in terms of what you did during the period of inaction. What did you do between pitches? What did you do between innings? What did you do while you're sitting on the bench waiting for your spot in the lineup to come up? What did you do while the other players were warming up between innings? What did you do when you weren't actually physically doing something? And I know it sounds kind of crazy to say. What were you doing when you weren't doing anything? So what were you doing when you weren't doing something physically? That's where the anxiety, that's where the performance anxiety lies. Then you can start to identify what the specific anxiety is for you. So, hey, I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you did, please smash that subscribe button down below and leave your questions in the comment section, because that's the inspiration behind these videos to help serve you guys specifically with what you're struggling with. And if you'd like to take things a step further, check the links in the description below. If you're interested in our coaching, if you're interested in checking me out on other platforms and connecting with me there, if you're interested in some of our other free training, definitely check it out in the description below. And I will see you guys on the next video.